chat. He literally highlighted it.
Let me just see why he can't speak. This is weird.
Okay, algal oil is awesome. So are you saying that if you use a vegan diet, you should make sure to eat algae? Because I don't see vegans doing that. I know that's anecdotal, but I mean, even from your own perspective, are you as a vegan making sure to eat algae? I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong.
One sec. I'm just trying to figure out why this guy can't talk. It's pissing me
Oh,
off.
I can talk now. Thank God. Okay, it worked.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
But anyway, I highlighted and screenshotted from the very study that you cited, showing where it says Asian countries, specifically Korea, have very low meat intake compared to European or Western countries.
Okay, yeah, I saw it. It's a low meat intake. So I guess it seems like any increase in meat intake has probably to do with wealth. Probably. I mean, it's just an explanation. Obviously, I don't know.
Well, I was just backing up what Sav was saying, because he was saying that when you look at meat intake in those countries, in Asian countries, it's usually really low, so you wouldn't really pick up changes in mortality. And I'm just showing you that by your own evidence, the Asian countries have very low intake.
Okay, sure, yeah. Yeah, they had low intake. So maybe at a low amount of, apparently there's no difference in the cancer, I guess. But so maybe that's how they got the results they did. So yeah, I guess that's all there is to say about that. I'm regarding this as a friendly discussion. None of you guys are attacking me, so I don't want to.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, yeah, are you guys all vegan? Personal question?
Yes.
So, are you guys, making sure to eat algae? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think that was just him pointing out that, yes, these are equivalent sources of DHA and EPA, so.
Right. Okay, so my problem with that is, it seems that when people push to go vegan, and I understand it's a very animalitarian push, we shouldn't be doing a freaking Holocaust. There's no saying, the vegans say, yes, veganism can be healthy and such, and it can incorporate, you don't have to be missing any nutrients that you're getting from meat. But when I see the reality, it's they're not saying, they're not actually seem to be very concerned with making sure all those nutrients are there. And maybe it's because, I would understand, maybe it's because, they're not noticing any effect in, because, how are you going to tell something that by nature is supposed to be a very long, drawn process, which I'm saying is malnutrition. But, the small amount of studies that have been done, there's not going to be many studies on this because in my opinion, the observational studies are all pointing to veganism being healthy. So, and there's no money in, doing studies saying it's bad. But for example, if you look here, you can see that suddenly when you add creatine, which is something you cannot get in meat, you can't get from plants. It only comes from meat. Suddenly their memories get better. So, and this isn't observational. This is
good Lord.
Changing it right there.
No, you realize what this is saying, right? Did you look at the design of the study?
Sure.
How much creatine did they give them?
20 grams for 5 days.
Do you know how much is in animal products?
I would have to hazard a guess. What are you saying?
I'm saying that even the richest sources are like absolutely nothing compared to that.
Okay, I'm looking it up. Steak has 5 grams of creatine per kilogram.
Yeah,
That
kilogram.
sounds. Yeah, so I think you need some creatine to maintain yourself. So when you suddenly give a massive boost of creatine like this, um, like it, yeah, their memories changed, and there was a significant difference. I mean, how like unless you're saying creatine is found in vegetarians, and these vegetarians just happen to be eating wrong. But then, even then, it would kind of point to saying that it's harder to eat right as a vegetarian if, you know, I mean, like, what are you saying they should eat to get creatine then?
Hold on 1 second. I'm looking at the study.
Yeah, sure,
I
no
think
problem.
this is one I've seen.
Okay.
You do the vitamin A thing next if you want. Are there?
Okay, yeah, okay.
I'd be happy to talk about vitamin A too.
All right.
Vitamin A.
If I were to comment on the creatine thing, their baseline was the same. So if anything, it's an argument for vegetarianism plus supplementation.
Yeah, wait, hold on. It gets better. The one difference that was on the memory test, it's words recalled, right? So they must have given them a list of words, and they saw how many they could recall. So they compared creatine supplementing in meat versus non-meat eaters. And yes, just like MNAGS just said, their baseline was the same, but the meat eaters dropped substantially, which made the effect look significant in comparison. So it looks like the meat eaters remembered something like 10 to 12, if I had to guess based on the graph words, compared to their initial of like 14, whereas vegans only dropped 1 or 2. So they just dropped less over time.
Do you mind? Wait, sorry. Where are you getting this? Like, I'm looking at the full article.
Yep.
There's the paragraph names. Like, can you tell me which paragraph? you're looking at?
There's just like a nice little like pictogram with a graph that has comparing placebo to creatine, and it says words recalled on the y-axis, and there's before and after.
You mean table 1?
Figure 1, yes.
Okay.
And there's a little bracket above after on creatine. And there's a p less than 0.03, which signifies significance. Can you see it?
Oh, I just found it. I was looking at something else. Placebo, creatine. Black is meat eater, white is vegetarian.
Yep.
Where's it coming
Do you see what I was saying?
Sorry, I'm still looking. So it seems like with creatine, the meat eaters got worse recall, whereas vegetarians.
Uh-huh. And that was the significant difference. So they didn't improve, they worsened less.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll admit then, if this is the data they were using, that was a rather misleading conclusion.
Mm-hmm. That's unfortunately, it's kind of sad, but...
Which is why I really hate reading just the conclusions when I...
Yeah, exactly.
Studies, but,
like I said, it's unfortunate it has to be that way, but you almost have to be like, extraordinarily.
untrusting of these
Yeah.
people.
Astute.
That's interesting though. I want to see why. Like I'm gonna read their discussion and to see why they gave that conclusion. Um,
That's interesting.
yeah, I'll say that is interesting. It's good that you examined that closely. Okay, I'm just happening to look at this study.
Get clicked on the wrong one. Oh yes, I recognize this one too. Yeah, I know which one you're looking at. It's only vegetarians, so you can't really.
Yeah, there's no comparing. Yeah, that's
Yeah, exactly.
tell us anything. Although I guess the angle I could take this at is something like meat eaters tend to get more creatine in the first place, so they would be, taking these doses.
Well, I mean, you could just buy it and supplement because it's substantially cheaper, and you get a higher dosage. I mean, it's a good supplement to have, especially if you're interested in sports, regardless of your diet.
Sure. So So I guess you'd be one of the ones saying that if you go vegan, you must also take supplements, like to not be losing out on nutrients.
Pending, I wouldn't say creatine is necessary at all.
Creatine is not a essential nutrient.
Yeah.
Neither is carnitine.
Okay, so
Okay.
And there's like a lot of creatine supplements anyway. Vegan ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not an argument against veganism, even if it was the case, right? Because there are vegan creatine supplements. Here's one on carnitine from the RDI.
yeah, I mean, we kind of sidetracked off of, I think,